Hey, thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I am going to show you how to edit your Instagram TV content using iMovie. I got one simple hack to make it easy so that way you're able to make sure that all of your valuable content is staying within the vertical lines of IGTV and not spilling outside into the horizontal format that we typically use for YouTube and other channels. So stick around and I'll show you guys how to do it. All right, guys, we're gonna hop into iMovie so that way I can show you how I create video content for Instagram TV using iMovie. And as I kind of mentioned in the blog post, if you read it, is that iMovie is a great platform to use if you're just beginning in the video editing content creation world. However, there are a lot of limitations when it comes to what iMovie will allow you to do in comparison to programs like Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro. So with Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, you're able to actually set the size of the video that you want to create. So if you're trying to create something vertical for Instagram TV or for Instagram Stories, Adobe Premiere and Final Cut Pro allow you to do that very easily, although it doesn't feel as intuitive only because it's so robust and there's a lot of things to do. They do make it easy for you to edit that. In iMovie, you don't have all of those options, which makes it a little bit easier and less overwhelming for a newbie, but it can be really challenging because it's always going to export it as a horizontal video instead of that vertical content that we're trying to create for Instagram TV. So here's a quick little hack that you can do to be able to edit within iMovie. Make sure that you're editing it perfectly for IGTV and not running into any issues. So you can see I already have some content lined up here from one of my previous Instagram TV episodes, and I want to show you guys just what it looks like. So I recorded this content right here. That's a great shot of me. Oh yeah, these are all just lovely. So I've recorded this on my phone in a vertical format. So as you can see, when looking at it in the editing over here in this frame, it looks like it is perfect. It's set perfectly for IGTV because it's already in that vertical format. But really what's going on here is this entire screen right here, this black spot as well, is what we'll export. So when you export it, you're going to have this content that I've recorded in vertical format right in the center, but I'm still going to have these black boxes on either side. Now, when you go to upload it to Instagram TV will cut off these black sections and only showcase the stuff in the vertical section. So that's really great if you're uploading content that's already filmed in the vertical format. But what happens when you want to use, these are all just really great shots, guys. If you want to use content that was maybe recorded in a horizontal format like this one, but I want to make sure that it's optimized for IGTV. So this is a different video that I recorded for something completely different, and you can see that I was recording it in the horizontal format. But I wanted to bring it over so that way I could utilize it for my IGTV B-roll to kind of give me an intro as you guys see here. So there's a lot going on. I try to keep it really quick, but to make sure that this content that I already have in horizontal format is positioning it myself correctly within the frame of IGTV, there's a couple things that I need to do. Now, for me, this video, this clip that I'm using, it's kind of already perfectly aligned because I am right in the center. Now, if I was to the right or to the left, I could end up moving myself over so that way I am perfectly center for the way that I'd want to be positioned for IGTV. So a couple things, same thing here, like you're not really sure if I'm in the center here. And there's a couple ways that I can check it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to import, and you guys can download this little cheat sheet, if you will, by clicking on the stuff in the blog post. Hold on one second as I get there. So, oh, here's some pictures of me. Movie guidelines. This is what I want. All right, so we're gonna import this into the video, and you can see it right here. Here it is. So basically what I'm saying is, here's a horizontal image that we're gonna use as our guidelines, and I'll show you guys exactly how we're going to do that. And you can see that I want everything for IGTV to live in that blue box. Anything in the white is not going to show. So any text that I put into this video, placement of myself from any B-roll or horizontal footage that I'm adding in here, I wanna make sure that it's living within that blue box. So I'm gonna add this to, let's right now add it right here, and I wanna put this above it. So by layering things like this means, here, and let me, just by simply, whoops, yep, just by dragging, I can make it the same width, so you would actually never see that image below, because this is like a layer and it's sitting above it. So just like a stack of papers, this one is the one underneath, excuse me, this one is the one underneath, and then this image, this flat lay, is sitting on top, so you'll never actually be able to see this. But if I click on this image, and you can see that it's highlighted by the yellow, and I come over here to this little like picture-in-picture box, this video overlay settings, there's an opacity adjustment. And you can see that the things that are living within that blue box are what's going to show in my Instagram video. So you can start to see how that blue box is coming through, and then the other things in white. So all of this is gonna cut off when we do the Instagram video. For IGTV, this is going to cut off, and the only thing you're going to see is a portion of the planner, a little bit of my mouse pad and the mouse, as well as my glasses. So now I bring it back to full opacity, and you don't see that. So this is a really great guideline to be able to help you identify where the placement of your items are. And let me move this back next to it. Great, and I'm going to move this image above it now. So there's a little bit of playing around that goes on, and I don't really have to adjust this every time that I just want to check it. So this image here, I've selected it. I'm already clicked on this video overlay settings, and I am going to lower the opacity. Great picture of me, by the way. And you can see that I'm pretty much centered within that box. I can adjust it if I want by moving this over, and the way that I'd have to do that is click on this and do picture in picture. And now you can see that I'm able to move that whole file, that whole video around. So if I wanted to keep it so that way you can see almost the entire video, this doesn't do a good job of holding its aspect ratio, just by the way. I could place it in there, and you could have like the blue below and above the video, and then the whole video would play here. But because it's IGTV, I prefer not to do that. Yeah, this really doesn't hold the aspect ratio at all. So this is called picture in picture, and now I'm like stretching myself and I look really weird. But I can, so I know that that's the correct aspect ratio. So I'm gonna pull it to the right aspect ratio, so that way I don't look like I'm stretched or pulled. But because it's picture in picture, I can now move it easily. So I've now centered myself completely in the middle of what will show in IGTV. And then I just click on it again and, oops, go back to cutaway. Oops. What are we doing, guys? All right, I'm gonna go back to cutaway, and there's the opacity, and there I am. So if I do the same thing, whoops, having a lot of uh-oh moments as I keep moving things around. So then the other thing that I can do is I'm going to add this right next to there for a minute. Come on down. I want it to sit essentially above. Nope. It's not playing nice right now. Of course it's not. Let's see. So let's say I take this and move it on top of this. because I can always move this over to the next, back over to where it was. So I have, oh, because I'm moving the wrong thing. Hello. Too many files, guys. All right, so what I'm trying to say is I can move this over as I did here, because all I have is just this blue mint colored block behind it. So I can always put that back because that's not going to change. But what I do want to focus in on is this text right here. And it's doing a Ken Burns effect, which I don't want it to do. So I'm going to click on the little crop image and stop it from doing Ken Burns. iMovie likes to default to doing Ken Burns all the time, which is not always ideal. So you just want to click on fit, and that stops the Ken Burns action, which just basically pans in and out of the different spots of the frame. And now I can see where my text is, and I want to make sure that I keep it within that box, especially if I'm designing this for IGTV. So normally it likes to sit like that, because when you're designing it, typically in iMovie, they think that you're exporting it for like a YouTube type of format. But with all of the changes and additions that have come through in video marketing in the last couple of years, that's not always the case. Sometimes we want it in a square format, sometimes we want it in this vertical format like we do for IGTV. So we want to make sure that we can get into our title and, you know, break the paragraph if we need to, so that way it's stacked on top of one another, so that way it stays within that vertical format versus going over and bleeding into the white sections where it would cut off once we upload it to IGTV. So that's a little quick hack on how to make sure that your video content is being formatted perfectly for IGTV and that you're not cutting anything off. You can download this little guide with the link in my bio from the, not bio, wow, like I'm on Instagram already, with the link in my blog post, so that way you can use this for all of your Instagram TV content moving forward. If you have any questions, please head on over to the blog or to social media and be sure to ask. I'd be happy to answer. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Bye. If you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe so that way you don't miss any future videos with helpful content coming your way. See you next time.